Happy Monday, everybody. Well, we survived the weekend. It was actually pretty good. We were tired for a fair bit of it, and it was a bit of a struggle, but overall, pretty good. And I got to go to a party, and a friend of mine got engaged, so all round, pretty good weekend. And Spencer and I have had a good morning at Jungle Gym. And today I just, something that's been floating around for a little while, is this idea of what it means to be a good parent and related issues. And I was thinking a bit about that, and it reminded me of a joke. So a female college student goes to see her male professor because she's failing the subject really badly, and she's wearing fairly revealing clothing, and she goes in and she says, Professor, I know that I'm not doing very well, but and she sort of leans over and says, I would do anything to get it to pass this unit, and I mean anything. She says in a very seductive manner, and the professor looks at her and says, would you do anything to pass the unit? She says, absolutely anything you want to pass this unit. And he says, well, would you study? Boom. So why does that remind me a little bit about parenting? Well, because I was talking about this with some people recently, and we were talking about, it's a fairly common idea, and lots of people would say that they would do anything for their kids. And I think that when they say that, they genuinely mean it. And yet, I feel like it's fairly rare that people will make the meaningful sacrifices to improve their children's quality of life. I guess in our house, before we had our son, my wife and I, we discussed it, and we made the decision that we would be poorer, that we would deliberately take a cut in income. We wouldn't try and make that up, so that one of us could be home with him, but also that we would give up having that money, so that we could spend more time. And instead of both of us working, or even my wife working more than she does at the moment to get extra money so that we can afford nicer things, we've decided not to do that so that we have more time to spend with him. And the reason we did that is because when we thought about it and when we looked into it, it's fairly clear that that's what young children need, is that they really don't care, and it really matters very little where you live, how much money you have, and as long as you have as long as you've got the bare minimum, as long as you've got enough money to have a roof over your head and food on the table, beyond that, small children don't care. I'm not even sure that big children care particularly, but he certainly doesn't. He wouldn't even notice. Probably the only thing that we miss is having a backyard. I suspect that he would enjoy spending time in a backyard a bit more if we had a big backyard, but I take him out every day. We do physical activity, we go to the park a lot, and so I feel like that's a reasonable trade-off, that he's not being impeded because we haven't got a backyard, because we aren't earning enough to have a place with a big backyard. I feel like we've both given up a fair bit of what we like in life so that we can provide what he actually needs, not what we sort of think he needs. And I was sort of reminded that although a lot of us, there goes my phone, would like to think of ourselves as, that we would do anything for our children, when it comes down to it, the day-to-day mundane grind of what would you give up for your child, what would you do, a lot of people don't. And not because I think that they're terrible parents, but because they don't draw that sort of connection. They don't kind of go, I could actually rearrange my life. I could work less, and we could be poorer. We could have we could have an older car, one that's not as nice. We could still have a reliable car that's not as nice, and in return stay at home more. My child would have more of my time. So I kind of feel like that's been floating around a bit, and I don't mean to sound like I'm lording it over people. I think have the benefit of being exposed to a lot of these issues long before I had kids, and thinking about this stuff a lot more, and having a partner who's very supportive of us living basically a very non-traditional lifestyle around that. But I did want to mention it so that if anybody else is thinking about these things, that maybe you can take that into account. What does your child actually need from you? And at this age, it seems that they need the basic necessities of life plus plenty of time and love and attention. And whatever you can do to make your life so that you can give them as much time, love and attention, that's probably all they really want and need at this point. So, there's some food for thought. Hope you're all having a really good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.